This morning, though, we need to get right to a Fox News alert. An immigration showdown in Texas. President Obama meeting with Governor Rick Perry one day after asking for billions to deal with the crisis. But will it help? Peter Ducey, live in Washington. And Peter, what can we expect from this meeting today?
Anna, the U.S.-Mexico border is not going to be getting a visit from President Obama during his trip to Texas. Governor Rick Perry says he's willing to show the president how bad things are down there as unaccompanied children continue surging into the country from the south. But he doesn't think his visitor from the White House is serious about a solution.
If the President of the United States is really serious about securing that border, we can show him how to do that. But I haven't even had a phone call from this president.
Valerie Jarrett ended up sending Perry a letter asking if he wanted to be part of a roundtable discussion with the president and local leaders to talk about the immigration crisis, and Perry accepted, although the fact the letter came from Jarrett and not from the Oval Office raised some eyebrows in the briefing room.
Well, as you know, Valerie spends a lot of time maintaining our relationships here in the White House with governors across the country.
The president has now sent a letter to Congress asking for $3.7 billion in aid for the border crisis. Here's the breakdown. About $1.8 billion for HHS to house and take care of unaccompanied kids, $1.1 billion for Homeland Security to step up enforcement and to deter border crossings. $64 million would help the Justice Department hire new immigration judges. The State Department and Border Control are also in line to potentially get hundreds of millions for security. That is, if Congress okays the president's request. Back to you in New York.
All right, Peter, thank you very much. Also, in addition to all that money, there's going to be $615 million in emergency wildfire suppression. That's part of this deal. What's interesting, though, is
wait for a lot of stuff to come cascading in that deal.
Well, you look at the stuff that Peter just detailed there: new detention facilities, overtime for Border Patrol agents, more judges. Where's the money to stop people from coming in? That's the problem. We need a secure border. You know, one side says we need it. The other side said, oh, we have it. But you've got 8-year-olds just walking across. We need a secure border. Otherwise, this 50,000 could become 5 million.
Which is unbelievable, is because in 2008, they passed this law for really focusing on human trafficking. Senator Dianne Feinstein leads the charge, and it says, hey, listen, when these kids come in, let's give them some pro bono legal advice, because a lot of them are trying to get away from sex traffickers, and those are the things that are supposed to be addressed. At that time, it was estimated 7,000 kids were crossing. Now about 50,000 kids are crossing, so this clearly is a crisis. And everyone's saying, well, you know, I need Congress to give me the freedom to override this law. Senator Feinstein says, no, you don't. This is a crisis. That was built into the law. You could do whatever you want. What happened to his pen and his phone? Suddenly he's sitting on his hands.
Yeah, he's in a political rock and a hard place between the two, and now he's saying, oh, I need Congress, and this is Congress's fault. This isn't my fault. Even though that 2008 law you mentioned, he simply could just with the stroke of a pen make a change there. Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar was on with the Kelly File last night. He says, you know what, this is such a big problem, and it's something we have seen coming for a long time. Listen.
By the way, it just didn't happen just the last week. I mean, this they had notice about this. The White House had about this for at least a year, because there was a CBP report that came out on this, and therefore I still feel that the leader, in this case, the president, should go down there, get on Air Force One. He's in Texas. It shouldn't be that long. I know Texas is big.
Okay, he's the same fellow he's a Democrat, by the way. He's going to be joining us at 7:15 this morning, talk to Brian about the situation right there. He's one of the guys who compared this to President Bush's Katrina, said, you know, hopes it doesn't become his Katrina moment. Jonah Goldberg was on last night on Special Report, and he said, you know, he didn't like the parallel between Bush's problem and Obama's problem, because they just aren't a perfect fit. Listen to this.
No one thought that George W. Bush's policies led to Hurricane Katrina, right? I mean, it was a hurricane. The crisis on the border is a direct result of the president's policies and decisions. And so in some ways, this is worse than Katrina as a policy matter, because this is something that they created. I think the reason why Barack Obama doesn't want to go down to the border is that he doesn't want to sort of presidentialize this controversy, give people the photo op to make it seem as if they can associate him with the policies. But I think that ship has largely sailed.
Right, and also there's another difference. Local lawmakers in Louisiana during Katrina weren't even asking for help until the crisis has already been overwhelming. Here, these people, Democrats and Republicans, have been begging for help at the border, and they've been unable to get it.
Yeah, and during that same roundtable, Charles Krauthammer said, either the president doesn't know what to do or he's fine with what's going on,
Sure.
and his only reason for asking for this nearly $4 billion is to absorb all of these people, and he's okay with what's going on at the border. And take a listen to what the president was saying back in 2011. You remember his stance on immigration then?
I've got to say, I suspect there's still going to be some who are trying to move the goalposts on us. One more time. You know, they said we needed to triple the Border Patrol. Or now they're going to say we need to quadruple the Border Patrol. Or they'll want a higher fence. Maybe they'll need a moat. Maybe they want alligators in the moat. They'll never be satisfied. And I understand that's politics.
Well, that's what he says, politics. You know, the people on the political right had said to the president, you got to secure the border so that we can control who comes in. And the president said, okay, I'll triple the number of Border Patrol, I'll quadruple it. See, I did it. The problem for us right now is the fact that if they did up all the number of people who were on our southern border, what are they doing today? They are babysitting. Well, we've heard reports that 7 out of 10 of the Border Patrol agents are not at the actual border because they've got this humanitarian crisis down there. They're helping people who are in those facilities.
Not close to enough agents. They're not allowed to work overtime, and they're also told not to talk to the press. So, and there's also people, when the press go actually to visit these refugee centers, they're told they can't take any pictures, they can't tape anything or record anything. So there's suppression going on. People are afraid to losing their jobs. I got like 3 messages on my voicemail. I can't give you my name, but it's so much worse than it's being reported. And it's being reported as a really huge crisis.
Yeah, and there are even being reports, too, that these cartels are using these immigrants as a bait and switch kind of thing. Hey, you guys run across the Border Patrol agents are going to be watching you, then we're going to run on through and take our crime along with it.
It's a big mess down there. Meanwhile, let's talk